Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new quadcopter from Eachine. This is the QX80. So after the Eachine QX90 here, I reviewed some days ago, excellent, good flyers, okay, so please check my former video dedicated to and some very good FPV flights associated with. Here is the Eachine QX80. So it's a little bit smaller, but with more a square design. I've got the BNF version, so it means that you have to assemble it. So please check in this video the assembling procedure. Okay, so let's first discover the content of the box. Okay, let's start. And first thing, you will find a first bag with some props, and compared to the Eachine QX90, they are quite different, a little bit more square on the extremity, so maybe offering a little bit more trust. They remind me of the props associated with some GXT model some time ago, so they are quite standard, and I hope they won't suffer of the easily problem associated with the QX90 to pop up very easily, so I will check that fact, of course. You have another spare bags with another 4, 2 clockwise, 2 counterclockwise, tools, so a small carbon tools branch to remove the props easily, and a cable to recharge up to 2 micro LiPo in the same time. You have to plug to your balancer plug. Okay, what you also will find the motors, some 8.5 by 20 millimeters, more or less. They are quite basic, okay, so they are not very strong, and we will talk about it later at the end with demo flight. And it means that as the QX90, if this machine weighs more than 55 grams, don't expect very punching machine with this motor. So if you want to have a more punching machine, I strongly advise to maybe to update this motor for more powerful one. So we have the FPV camera combo. So it's in 3-in-1 system, including as you can see, a cloverleaf antenna, 4 leaves, okay, so generally is more associated with a receiver, but here is okay, so be sure that nothing is really bent, okay, so maybe check a little bit and to rebend it more correctly. And you have this wide angle, something very wide. It's an let's check that, it's probably an M7 format, so I don't have any more battery on my caliper, but it's something like 6.8, so it's an M7 lens mount, so quite classic with 170 degrees of field of view. And this system weighs pretty light, so it's 5.1 grams. No connector, you will have directly to solder on the input pad of your flying controlling board. Okay, so you have a 6-position dip switch behind to select both the frequency and the band. No mic associated with, so you won't be able to record the sound with. And within the bag you have these 2 rubber bands to attach to the main frame, okay, and also a small lens cap to protect your lens. You have a bag with 2 batteries. They are 1 cellular model, exactly some 600 milliamps per hour model. No discharge rate mentioned, okay, it's exactly the same model on the QX90, and each of them weighs 15.2 grams, so a lot of battery, and you can expect close to 6 minutes of flight time. That's definitely not bad. And you have 2 double side, okay, seems to be double side, yes, tape to attach, or okay, so we will see how to attach them. And no extra rubber band, for example, to attach to the main structure, so probably you will need to provide your own rubber band to attach it. Here is the main frame. Okay, so with the bag weighs less than 10 grams, so if I remove all the plastic, okay, I should be around 9 grams approximately. Let's check that. So you have all the carbon element, okay, so I will detach it, and the gum to install the motors, okay, so 4 of them, each of them 2 grams, okay, exactly, and the structure. So unfortunately I have to change my battery, but they are 1 millimeters, okay, approximately. So you have 4 lateral elements, you have 2 clips, and we'll see how to assemble, and 1 central, more horizontally, okay, so 4 sides, and each of them weighs 1 gram 4, the 4 lateral reach 4.7, and the central one 2 gram 2, so everything weighs 6.7 plus the corresponding motor pad 8 gram 6, so pretty light for the frame structure. Can we expect to have some weights? Well, maybe in the central part could be a little bit less dense, probably. So let's continue to discover. Here is a bag with the receiver. So it's a Fierce Sky D8 model. So you can buy it with, of course, a tennis, okay, no problem. And you have 3 small wires. Be aware to not lose them. They have to be soldered in SBS connection. So I've got 2 of them. I don't know where. Okay, so it's 3 small wires, orange, red, and purple. So here is the receiver. Okay, and it's pretty light with a small 2-position dip switch. The 2.4 GHz receiver weighs 1 gram 6 standalone, okay, and you have to connect it in SBS configuration. And I can see a A2 here, so maybe it will be possible to monitor the battery voltage in the A2. Maybe it's sent it via the telemetry, but maybe we will need to flash a new firmware on it. The buying button is here, okay, so please, I will show how to bind it, but you can also check my QX90 video to show how to bind it. Okay, so and you have a small Eachine to protect from the flying controlling board. So be sure and be aware to not lose the 3 small wires, okay, for your SBS connection. And be sure also when it's connected to use the Eachine to protect your board. The Eachine standalone weighs almost 0, so you won't lose a lot. And what is remaining? The flying controlling board standalone. Okay, so here is the micro SD cable. 1 gram 1. Maybe you can save a little bit some weight by reducing the length. And this is a flying controlling board. So 3 gram 1, and it's the new version. Okay, it seems to be. So you can find 6 FET, I hope you can see. So probably, and this is the version 2.0. So it for up to an quadcopter. So here we only need 4. So if you have the version 1.1, you can save maybe some little weight. Okay, but everything is here. The micro USB connection. So we have to use the plug. Okay, the battery input will be here, and the receiver connection should be around. Okay, and we have the motors pad here, positive, negative. It's very small, so we will have to make a tricky soldering job. Okay, so and to install on the main carbon plate, we have some double side tape again. Also weighs almost nothing. So everything weighs something like 4 grams. So yes, by reducing the length of the cable, maybe you can save 1 gram, maybe, or something like this. So it's a way to save some weight. And what also we have, at the bottom of the box, we have the instruction manual in color. Yes, great. So everything is here. So wow, everything is in color. So probably here starting. We have the video, okay, so for the video camera, the airframe setup. So to assemble it, we will probably need some pliers, because the carbon elements have to be clipped together. So you can see some notch like this. to be I don't know, yes, maybe we have okay something like this, and they have to be clips like this probably, I don't know, I have to check that. Okay, and if they don't enter correctly because the carbon need maybe some to be less squeeze, and we will probably need a plier to force a bit and to assemble it. Okay, so now let's focus more on the build log video of the QX80. Okay, so we will start with the lateral side. So it will be a little bit tricky to assemble it because, you know, the connections is not very sometimes perfect, and there will be a lot of friction, very hard to assemble. So maybe use that kind of silicone oil, you know, lubricant to gently install on the air. Okay, here, and use it and spray everywhere to facilitate, to make the life more easy to slide the element. Okay, so each lateral side you lubricate everything. Okay, maybe some grease could be installed, and after, let's start take one. We will have the notch bottom and here up, and just like this try to clips. Okay, and start to assemble it, and we will probably need a plier to go really down to where you need to press more strongly. So I will use this plier. I hope it will be okay, not sure. And yes, you can see that it's going down, so you need to force a bit, maybe. Okay, I can't really go further. Okay, but it's already not bad, but it could be you can go. Okay, so you need probably to adjust more. Okay, going down, and it's already not bad. You can see that it's almost both leveling on the ground, so that's good. So two, yeah, let's continue. So maybe lubricate a little bit more. Okay, like this, and it will help to slide. Okay, let's start. Yes, and use gently our plier. Oops. Okay, and use a plier. Okay, without damaging the carbon element. Okay, it's not the case here. Like this. Okay, so now it's good. So the last one. Okay, like this, and here. So beware for the last one, because here no problem, you can assemble this one vertical. Okay, no problem for this one. Okay, so we'll use a plier again. Not bad. Okay, but for the other one you have to install the other one like this. Okay, so this bottom have to go down, and then we should be able to completely close the frame like this, which is not bad. So the lubricant is helping a lot. Okay, and you can feel that the structure is already pretty solid. Okay, so that's good. And I would say that now the main trick would be to let enter the central one. Okay, so here again we will need to lubricate all the four extremity here. Okay, so spread oil. Okay, to make your life more easy, as well as the central hole. Okay, so one possibility to is to use the plier and try to gently press, at least for these two lateral side, is entering little by little. Yes, as you can see, now it's entered, so I can do the same with the other one. Okay, be sure, start with one extremity, you have to be sure that it's aligned. sound to be. And yes, little by little, yes, sounds to be aligned. Okay. And for the two other, I will also, I won't try to force here because this is where you have to attach the camera, okay, but it starts to be in progress, so you can gently go by this direction, and it's entering little by little. Yes, you can hear the crack, it means that it's entering. So this is probably the most tricky part to do, but here it seems to be done. Yes, maybe I can a little bit more here. Okay, so now I have to do more this one here. So unfortunately the player can enter in the central, and I don't want, yes, like this. So do it gently. Yes, it's entering. Okay, so sounds good. And yes. Okay, and you have to do the same here, so be sure that it's aligned. And go gently. Yes, and it's entering. It's great. So oops. I won't break the carbon element. So I won't go really further because I'm afraid to break the upper part, but it sounds to be okay. So now let's insert the piece of rubber element to lock motor. So you have to okay, so now it's time to enter the motors, but beware, you have to know that the flying controlling board, okay, look at the central frame, you have some two front notch, it will be to attach the camera, so it means that the tape to for the flying controlling board will be positioned like this, so micro USB on the rears, so it means that the front left motor will be here. Front clockwise motors are red and blue, okay, so be aware of it. So, and the counterclockwise will be black and white. So now we know that we install the motors, so gently insert the motors, okay, through the central hole. Okay, so if you need to reduce the length, you can. Could probably save some little weights, okay, and then you have to insert the motors in the central. It will look like this, okay. Okay. So you can feel that the motor are solidly installed and it won't move inside, or really well blocked, so no problem. So I will do the same for the three other motors, nothing special, just repeat the same operation. Okay, here is the result after the installation of the four motors. So I can give you already some intermediate weights of the QX80. So it's already weighing 28 grams, so we have to add the props, we have to add the flying controlling board, we have to add and the receiver, so, and the LiPo of course. So let's continue, and now we will have to solder the receiver to the flying controlling board, so thanks to S-bus connection. So we have to follow this instruction here, okay, so this is the receiver installation. Okay, so here is the receiver. So from this side, when you have the antenna on the top left, you will be able to find that, for example, you have two rows, and the first one, when you have A2, maybe to monitor the telemetry, the input voltage. But anyway, just on this second pad here, you have the ground, then the plus 5 volt, and then the S-bus signal. So we have 3 wires, and according to the instruction manual, the purple will be more for the signal, the red more for the plus 5 volt, and in the instruction manual you have a more black for the ground, but we have here an orange, so I will use the orange to for the ground. Okay, so I will apply and start to solder this element. Okay, so I will just install some element and then start to solder everything. For the flying controlling board, you have to localize the corresponding pads. So for example, you have also 2 rows of 4 pads. So let's take the upper one, and the square one is the ground. Just on the right is the plus 5, and the third is nothing under the signal. So we will solder correspondingly the for me the ground is the orange, the plus 5 is the red, and the signal is the purple. So I will pre-insert some solder on the corresponding pad. Okay, so you can install the Eachine to be sure, and why not to add some liquid electrical tape, okay, to isolate for the first soldering job. Okay, so I will add some liquid electrical tape, just a piece of, to protect the soldering job, just on the receiver soldering job. Okay. And I will use some, I will install the Eachine, the transparent one on the receiver, and I will Okay, so after installing the receiver, we have to now look for the motor installation, and this board, the version 2.0, is for quadcopter. So be aware, look at the instruction manual, you have to follow this following motor layout. So only the 4213 are useful. So the board will be installed like this, and in terms of nomenclature, when you look to the M1 pads, so 2 pads for the M1 here, the more on the left are the positive. So you have the positive and the ground, and if you look carefully on each ground pad, you have a small capacity to filter out, I guess, the noise. So the positive is here, the negative is here. So beware, you have the M6, so avoid it and go directly to the M2, the positive and the negative. The same for the other one. Okay, so I will pre-install some solder to make the motor installation more easy. Let's go. I will first install the tape, double-side tape, okay, and in order to install the flying contouring board, so I will install it on the extremity of the frame like this to free the front to install the camera, okay, like this. Then I will remove this one and install the flying contouring board. So be aware the micro USB plug should be positioned rear, okay, like this. So try to have something something more or less flat like this, and it's okay. So the M4 should be here, the M2 should be here, the M1 should be here, and the M3 should be here. So let's start with the M4, and to make the system more efficient, we have to twist the wires together. Okay, it will be less problematic in case of if the wires enter in collision with the props. So it's always more suitable to twist the two blue and red wire together and until the extremity. Okay, so now we will be able to solder them. So as I said previously, on the boards, if I'm not wrong, the ground should be completely on the left, so the blue one for here, and the plus should be on the right. So I will start, for example, with the positive one, so here like this, and try to solder. Okay, and then the ground here more. Okay, for the first motors, you can see the job, not amazing well, but should be okay. So for the M4 is okay, so let's continue. For the let's turn counterclockwise, so we continue with the M3 like the diagram here. Okay, so first of all twist. So one thing I forgot maybe to do is to solder the main lead cable. So maybe I will gently also remove a little bit sometime, microsecond, the flying contouring board to solder the main lead tab. I forget, but I can do it now is not a big drama. So anyway, I will continue with the M3 motors. So the M3 is here. So the positive is a white, okay, so be aware of it. Okay, and the negative should be more. This one here. I need more product. A bit. And okay, it's not an amazing job, but it should be more or less okay. Yes, not sure it will be okay. So I will continue now with the M2, M1 motors, but it's exactly the same. Okay, so I did the 4 jobs, okay, for each motors, more or less clean. So be sure that there is no contact, okay, check with the digital multimeter and connectivity mode. Check that there is no shortcut charts between the positive and negative pad. So now I will focus more on the main lead cable, and by the same pad, so the positive is on the left one and the negative on the right. You have also to solder the camera also pad, so you can do it on the same time. So okay, so I will solder more like this. So the positive is on the left. So I hope it will be strong enough, okay? And then you can install the main lead wires bottom, okay? So we also now connect the main lead cable of the video transmitter. So the positive one, okay. Directly on the okay, and the negative pre okay. Let's start to solder. Okay, so solder the video transmitter. So now all the installation should be more or less done. So just need to tape, for example, the receiver over the flying controlling board and install via the rubber band the camera, and we also install a piece of foam to have a positive angle on the FPV lens, okay, to fly a little bit more aggressively. So I will install more the receiver on the lateral side, okay, perpendicularly to the flying controlling board. Why? Because I want to protect to access to the bind button, and why have the 2.4 GHz antenna the more in the central position. So and with the constraint about the cable, the wire between the flying controlling boards to the receiver, we don't have a lot of options. So I will install the receiver like this, okay, and I will bend after the antenna like this, okay, so should be okay. So now I cut 2/3 the element, so now we'll be able to install the camera, okay, on front. So the bottom side is this one, okay, so you have to have the antenna, the soldering job of the antenna on top, okay, and we have to start to bend it a bit, so be aware to not break the soldering job like this, and we will be able to start to install the camera like this on front. So as you can see, we have two lateral, okay, side to attach the rubber band around. But as I said previously, I will install a piece of foam, something to incline, to give a positive angle. Okay, here is the result. So attached thanks to the rubber band, you have two clips here, make the full turn and reattach on the same pad, and do the other symmetric stuff with the other one. Start here, make the full turn and reattach on the same pad. So as you can see, I've got a good positive angle, so you have to bend gently the antenna. Okay, so now I'm ready to finally to attach the props, okay, and be sure to make a last checking, okay, and eventually add some electrical tape on the motors soldering jobs, okay, to be sure, and very well bend the wires. And I will now install the props. So I will more install the red on front, okay, it's my personal convenience, and the black, of course, here. So here is the antenna props. So can give you the weight of one individual, 0.3 grams, something, yes. Okay, so close to 1 gram 2 for the 4. Yes, 1 gram 4. So let's attach the prop. So as you can see here, it's for clockwise motor, so for front left. Okay, so I'll just clip it. Yes, that sounds good. And front right. Okay. Okay. This seems to not pop off like the QX90, so they probably changed the props. So this is the rear right, yes, as you can see. So it's written 2, okay, so for clockwise you have a small inscription 2 on the props, okay, and okay, So after you have to tune the antenna localization to not hurt anything. And the last one, okay. So let's check that. This one is okay, this one is okay, so only the one is blocked by the antenna, so a little bit more works. Oops, so you have to straighten it, bend it slightly to the central. Okay, so it's a question of few millimeters. So it means that after a few crash, you'll probably need to bend regularly the cloverleaf antenna to do the job, but it's okay. And what is the final weight? 41.3 grams. So with the LiPo, okay, should reach 56.6 grams, so it's much more compared to the QX90. Strange. So with the same LiPo, you can see that you are 2 grams less, so it's huge. So I'm expecting to have less performances with this one versus the QX90. Okay. Yes, you have 41.2 versus 30.8, so yes, more than 2 grams, so could be problematic. Okay, but now it's more the clean flight or beta flight configuration. I think I would keep clean flight, okay, and flash it and configure to S-bus receiver if it's not already done, and eventually flash the last version of clean flight. So before to attack the clean flight configuration, we have to bind the receiver with your PSky D8 compatible radio. For me, it's a Devo 7A modded with a CC2500 RF chip with deviation takes, but with of course your Taranis, it won't be any problem. It should bind the European version of the non-European version. So how to proceed? While powering on the quadcopter, you have to press in the same time the bind button. So use a small tool like this, and you have to hear the click like this. Okay, when it's gone, then you have to power the system. So it's a little bit tricky with one hand, but okay, we try. So I will enter into the setup menu and start the binding, and the green light should stop. Okay, so if everything is okay, when I will turn off everything, as well as the radio, the green LED should remain solid. So we will see power. And as you can see, it works. I've got a solid green LED, so it's bound. So as you can see, it's a little bit tricky, okay, with one hand, but it's not so hard. Okay, so now let's have a look to clean flight. first conclusion about the Eachine QX80, at least versus the QX90 recently reviewed. Well, in terms of flying characteristics, and it's very good. Well, thanks to the ASP Racing F3 boards. Okay, even if like the QX90, and I would say even worse, motors are lacking a bit of power thrust, and so don't expect this machine to be a super acro flyers with a ton of flips and so on. It's lack of power, but it's a very nice flyer and a cruiser crossing around trees and so on, as you can see in this first FPV demo flight. The main reason I would say that well, the weight versus the former QX, especially when you remove the small four landing gears, the total weight of the QX80 with the LiPo installed is close to 57 grams versus the QX90 with the same LiPo can be saved approximately close to 4 grams. So as you can see, so 4 grams for such machine is a lot. And well, so probably even if the props are different, as you can see how they're clearly different, and probably this one offers much more thrust. So it should be nice to install the QX980 props on the 90, and should give more thrust. But except that, the flight characteristics are nice and the spread is solid. One drawback I would say is how hard to tune the antenna positioning. As you can see, especially if you apply a small positive angle, you have to really adapt the position. Look at of the antenna very close, and it's very close to the antenna location. So it's a kind of optimization, special optimization you have to apply, and each time you will crash, you will have to redo it. So it's another drawback. But I would say the main drawback of this machine is about the frame. You don't have any real system to attach the LiPo, no notch, for example, like here, to attach a second rubber band to lock the battery bottom. I install here a zip ties, but I will have some problem to remove it, so it's not definitively not satisfying solution. And why they didn't provide here laterally some possibility to lock a rubber band? So definitively, I think for me the main drawback is hard out of the box to attach the battery. Well, except that the FPV range is good. Okay, I really like how very good flyers, by the way, but I repeat, it's not an extremely acrobatic one. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this unboxing, bit log, and demo flight and analysis. If you like this video, please submit, and if you like my channel, please subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.